Oh, I hope this is not the end of the road, my friends. Tonight very well may be our last night together during this 24-25 New Jersey Devils season as the New Jersey Devils heading back to Raleigh, looking to avoid elimination in a must-win Game 5 of their Eastern Conference quarterfinals matchup against the Carolina Hurricanes. Oh, welcome back, Devils fans. It is your host, Ace, here on Running with the Devils, where we are talking New Jersey Devils hockey all year long. Please hit that subscribe button, smash the like, share with a friend. Thank you very much. And this is it, kids. Do or die. Do or die time. Game 5. Devils need to win. That's it. Anyway, anyhow, the Devils must pull this one off. And it's going to be an uphill battle, obviously. Lots of injuries continue to decimate this team. The Carolina Hurricanes, a very good team at home, and they smell blood in the water. They certainly smell blood in the water. Pesce and Siegs did not take part in morning skate today. They're obviously both nursing something. Will be game time decisions. And so we shall see what this defense is. If I had to bet on it, Brett Pesce is such a throwback warrior. I believe that Pesce is going to play no matter what. Siegs, I'm not really sure. But regardless, due to Kovacevic being out, I really hope Seamus Casey's in this game. I'm just at the point now where we have nothing to lose, desperately in search of offense. Seamus Casey must be in this game over Cholowski. No ifs, ands, or buts. Casey not being in tonight would be complete malpractice, in my opinion. Gotta be in the lineup for a guy like that could bring some offensive flair. We can't score, so need Casey in that lineup. I hope he plays, and I hope that Pesce and Siegs could play as well. Obviously, two of our regular defensemen, but this is a joke. Most likely, we will see the 5th different defensive group tonight in a 5-game series. Unprecedented stuff. We would not have the same 6 D-men playing in any 2 games through 5 games. This is absolutely nuts. If that doesn't tell the story of how unlucky this New Jersey Devils group is, I don't know what would. A 5-game series with each game in the series featuring a different group of 6. I mean, that's just unheard of. I think someone mentioned after the last game that the broadcast had mentioned it was an NHL record for defensemen being used in a series. And I mean, it's just crazy. It's crazy. Do I think they could win? Sure. Do I feel great about it? Obviously not, but hoping for the best, hoping they just go out there and just pelt Kochekov with shots. Freddie Anderson obviously still out after being bowled over by Timo in that collision in Game 4. And Kochekov, he looked okay in the last game, but, he was a little shaky early. Timo got that weird angle goal on him. And then after that, they never really got to test him appropriately. And so I'm hoping the game plan for tonight is shots, shots, shots from everywhere, anywhere. Shots on net, drive the net, get guys in front, create screens, look for tips, look for rebounds, look for greasy ones. Because obviously the offense is terrible right now, period. Just throw shots on Kochekov, crash the net, try to make shit happen, hope for the best. But I hope this is not our last game of the season, guys. I really hope it's not, but it very well may be. We will find out in, roughly 5 hours or so. Rhett Law, can we do it? Missing 3 of our top D. Let's go Devils. We definitely can do it, but will it happen is another thing. Obviously, I think as every other game, first goal is huge. If we could get the first goal somehow tonight and really kind of silence the crowd a little bit, I think that could go a long way. But I hope they come out and show true desperation now. I mean, this is it. There's no more tomorrow. You lose this game, it's a wrap. Ryan Demand, need Marky to be solid tonight. We need Marky to be beyond solid. We need Marky to straight up steal one tonight, I think. Marky got to go in there and stand tall and steal one. He didn't have a great game last game. But I'm not going to put the loss on him. It's not like we scored 4 goals and lost 5-4. I mean, the offense, once again, didn't show up. And so the whole team played like shit, in my opinion, last game, Marky included. But if he could go out there and steal one tonight, it would be ideal. Ryan Demand and Marky, we trust. Absolutely. Alex, playing Casey and White tonight. Woohoo! Bench the players who cost us a game. White was only out there because of Pesce and Siegenthaler, taking the skate off. I'd be shocked if White plays the game. I just can't see it. Yeah, White isn't playing there, resting the vets. Lance, Marky's not the problem. Our lack of offensive zone pressure is. Guys need to show up for the most important game of the season. Enough with the excuses. Completely agree. Sometimes the best defense is a good offense. Get some pressure. Try to get some cycles going. Forecheck the hell out of them back. I mean, you got to show up. This is it now. This is where we're going to really see what this team is made of. Do they get bombed out of the building like many are predicting, or do they drag this thing back to New Jersey and make it super interesting? How interesting it would be if they could get the win tonight and force a Game 5 Friday night at the Rock. Seamus Casey may be playing. We're not going to know till game time, Ryan, what the lineup is, or maybe a little while before. I just checked a little while ago. I didn't see anything. Let me check again. But because of the uncertain status of Pesce and Siegs, it's kind of up in the air. Yeah, I don't see anything else here. So, yeah, game time. But even if Pesce and Siegs play, I do believe Casey should be playing in place of Cholowski. It just has to happen now. Oh, some of these comments are from hours ago. Wow. All right, let me scroll up to modern times. Of course tonight's game's televised. Well, they're all televised. Husky, not going to lie, I laughed out loud when I saw our starting lines on defense. So that's not the game lineup. That was just the pairings for practice, morning skate. Don't look too much into that. It's not going to be the same tonight. Rapid Blue is the new black. Tonight is the night where Marky gets a shutout and steals one. Stone them, baby. Would love to see it. Would love to see Marky with a shutout, but I'll take a win of any kind. However it comes. I'm not picky. I just want to see a New Jersey Devils victory to force another game at the Rock Friday night. Steven, my sanity is a game time decision. Brandon, the amount of injuries is just crazy. Yeah, on the defense alone, it's just ridiculous. Completely ridiculous. But this is how it's been for the Devils the past couple of years. Just decimated by injuries. Rich, looks like we'll set another record for having a different decor in 5 straight playoff games. Yeah, it very well may be the case. Evan, can we win tonight? Yes, we can. Now, will they? Different story. Are they capable if they do what they got to do and Marky stands on his head? Absolutely. But Marky is the single biggest X factor in this, obviously. It starts and ends with Marky. Can Marky rise above and steal one with the team playing like shit in front of him? And hopefully the team doesn't play bad in front of him. But he may get little to no help and may have to come up with some heroics. It's time for Marky to shine. Nick, at some point, it's not unlucky. We just aren't a good hockey team. A fully healthy squad wouldn't win the series. I'd think a fully healthy squad probably still wouldn't win, but I think it'd be much closer. But the reality is, guys, we've been in every single game except for game 1. There was points of the game in any game where we were right there, which is, again, why I was so furious with the underwhelming deadline acquisitions, because I do believe if an impact player was brought in, it could have made a difference in any of these games and ultimately made a difference in the series. But here we are, and we got to go to war with the troops that we got. Slurp says Timo needs to do his best Claude Lemieux impersonation. Well, I think so far he's kind of fit the bill. Probably the biggest agitator, kind of, just complete nemesis since Claude, I would say. Plays hard, gets under guys' skins, and hopefully he could do the same thing tonight, kind of get in the faces of the Canes, play hard, and hopefully contribute to some goals, whether he's scoring them himself or, assisting, whatever it is, just help generate some offense. Rich, will the power play finally come through? Oh, boy. I have a lot more faith in it if Seamus Casey is out there. If Seamus Casey's in the game, he should definitely be quarterbacking power play 1. I'm sorry, Dougie, but I think it's time for him to take a seat on power play 1 for the moment. It's just not working. 0 for 12. We gave up a shorty. Like, talk about just completely inefficient special teams. It's been a rough go. But shout out to everyone for joining me. Appreciate all of you. I'll cheers you with my iced coffee because I'm saving the adult beverages for later. Whether you're, watching from home or possibly at work, or some of you in your car, I appreciate you all joining for this little pre-pregame live, where I do hope it is not the last one of the season. Well, actually, it could be the last one of the season, even if it's besides the point. I hope it's not our last game. Let's just say that. Is Casey playing wing? No. Where did this come from? I don't know where anyone came up with that from. No. There's been nothing mentioned about Casey to wing. It's just a completely absurd notion. Maria, what's going on? Got to shoot more. Casey could shoot. Upset about Hataka. I figured Hataka was not going to be part of the Devils' plans. After we had all those injuries, later in the season, he was never called up, and then we went out and traded for Dumoulin and Chalowski. And so it did seem to me like, for whatever reason, the Hataka era in New Jersey was over. I still don't fully understand what happened there. I thought he looked good in some games that he had played in, but for whatever reason, he never made it back in the big club. How I got here, Jeremy Proper. Who is questioning the strength and conditioning coaches? I can't blame strength and conditioning coaches for guys getting hurt. A lot of people, and people do this with Rogalski, with the goaltenders too. Like, I don't put all the credit or blame for stuff on these, skill coaches, position coaches. Like, there's nothing the strength and conditioning coaches could do to prevent guys that are brittle from getting injured. That's just a fact. Like, you could blame whoever you want, but in the end, some guys are injury prone. They're going to get injured a lot. We have plenty of them on this team. And then there's guys that don't get injured all the time, but injuries happen. It's part of the game. It's a physical game. Very grueling, physically demanding, 82-game season. Some games much tougher than others. But in the end, to blame coaches, I think, is just, strength and conditioning coaches specifically is a little much of a stretch, in my opinion. Stanley, I've accepted the Devils are just cursed again. This insufferable franchise, but this is downright comical now. But you can contribute this to bad luck. It's far too many injuries all the time. Yeah, it is. But we also lack the appropriate depth to overcome said injuries. I mean, listen, no matter how much depth you have and how good of a organizational depth chart you have, no team is overcoming, the injuries we have to the blue line alone. I mean, it's just insane. 5 of the top 6 guys all injured in this series alone. I mean, that just doesn't happen. But, here we are. Michael S., the greater the adversity, the greater the opportunity for heroics. Let's go Devils. Oh, man, wouldn't it be a story if Seamus Casey comes out there tonight and just lights it up and has like a goal and an assist, and one of them is like the game winner in like a big moment, or makes a big play leading up to a goal? It'd be phenomenal. I would love to see it. And then he would be the hero of one game, and Nemo would be the hero of the other. Mason Keith, Marky got to stay in front of the net. He's got to play his game, but he's going out way too much. That's all situational as well. I mean, in the end, he had a bad game last game, but his numbers were phenomenal, and he was great in the first 3 games. He had like just above 2 goals against average, and his save percentage was nearly .930 through the first 3. And unfortunately, he only had 1 win to show for it. But hopefully tonight is his best performance yet. Steven, it's insane how much went wrong with individual players, mostly bottom 6 the holiday break. What the hell did we ever do to Canada to deserve this? I wish I knew. I really wish I knew. It's the great mystery that we may never have an answer for. What happened to the team that was flying high at the Christmas break, setting NHL records, allowing the opponent 20 shots or less in 7 consecutive games? I mean, it's just crazy. And then just the decline of 2025. Metalander, looks like Casey and Nemitz are paired. Brindamore Forecheck is going to steamroll the roomies. So I've talked about this before as well. I hope they both play tonight, but I do not like the idea of them on a pair. That I completely agree with. I do think they should be separated to kind of insulate them as much as possible from, the hellfire and shenanigans that the Canes will do. But I guess, I don't know what the logic is there. If they both play and they are in fact paired, maybe Keefe thinks it's easier to protect them at the same time. I have no idea. But I ideally would like to see them split up as well. Put each of them with a veteran guy to kind of cover their ass and hope for the best. Eddie says, ew, heard that, I guess that's Rags might land Sullivan. I figured he would be, getting a new gig sooner than later. He wouldn't be out of work long for sure. Gunner, fourth line is due for a goal. Not a fan of the players on the line, but they look pretty good the last two games. Anyone not named Timomeier, nicohischier, jesperbratt are long overdue for a goal. We've seen nothing. We're getting nothing, and that in conjunction with the injuries, in conjunction with special teams being awful, is why we are now in a 3-1 series hole. Stanley says they may give up a touchdown and an extra point tonight. Oh, my God, I hope not. I really hope not. Gentleman says bring it back to Jersey. Cape Dwell or Casey and Nemitz should have been in days ago. Well, I mean, Nemitz has been in for the last couple games. Casey, I'm not going to make a big stink about him not playing game 4. It was 2-1. I get the logic for why he wasn't playing, but now that it's 3-1 and the offense struggled again, now it's definitely time to deploy Seamus Casey. Rob, come on, boys. I need a win tonight so I can at least watch one game of playoff action at home after. If they somehow do find a way to win, if they do somehow find a way to win this game, I'd imagine the atmosphere at the Rock on Friday would be fairly electric, because then you're now one home game win away in that scenario. One home game win away from forcing a game 7 in which anything could happen. Anything could happen in a 7. Mr. Snowford says, looks like the LTIR money went to the Washington Commanders' new stadium project. Gotta love HBSE. It's unfortunate the way the non-spending in scenarios like that. Most GMs and ownership groups that are truly, dedicated to winning salivate over the opportunity of blowing LTIR money. But here we are. Dirty little secret. Who's your favorite Devils player? Of all time, the great Martin Brodeur, with honorable mentions to Kenny Danico, Scott Stevens, Eliash, so many guys I like. On the current team, it would probably be like Timo and Marky. There's a bunch of other guys I like as well, but and I love Nico as well. I would say Timo, Marky, and Bratter as well too. Yeah, those would be probably my favorites on the current team. Serve is very negative. He says, unfortunately, the season's over tonight. I certainly hope not. They already got their golf clubs ready. It's possible. Nick, Ace, I agree. We'll be a fringe playoff team until this team is sold. Then we can take the next step. Breaks my heart to say it, but we aren't winning shit under this ownership. They don't care. Well, the saddest part about that, Nick, is they're never going to sell the team. They're just collecting teams like baseball cards, collecting teams from every league. And so unless someone came along, a group came along and just offered well above market value, which at this point, it's just, franchises values have skyrocketed in the past, 5-10 years, 5-10 years or so. And I believe the Devils are now valued at like over $2 billion, which is psychotic. 'Cause I believe when Van Der Beek sold the team, it was like $350 million or something. So you're talking about they've gone up, 6x from what they were sold for roughly 15 years ago or whenever that was, 12 years ago. Completely wild stuff that, an NHL team, especially the Devils, is now worth $2 billion. And so unless they got some crazy offer, I can't see them selling anytime soon, unfortunately. Michael S., thanks. Hit the like. Hit the thumbs up for your boy. Hopefully this is not the end of the road here tonight, guys. I'm not ready for it to be over yet. I'll never say goodbye, Ace. We'll never be completely goodbye, but this would just be the end of our season. I will obviously be doing stuff throughout the summer, draft and free agency stuff. I'll have some other cool interviews and features and different things I'm working on. So I'll never fully be gone. You guys will never fully be rid of me, but obviously it's, not the season, so it is different. So at this point, Devil Dog, I can't tell when people are joking or not anymore. I mean, it's just, I literally have no detection for sarcasm anymore because people are so all over the place with viewpoints and takes. And I don't even know what's joking and when people are serious anymore for the most part. Brian J says, I remember when players would play through injury. Well, it depends on what it is, obviously. But yeah, back in the day, guys would play with all kinds of crazy, injuries, especially in the playoffs. Crystal, hoping the boys get a win tonight for my birthday. Happy birthday to you, Crystal. I am hoping they do get a win for your birthday. Wouldn't that be something special? That would be very nice. Mr. Snowford, hit the like, folks. Thanks for all the content, Ace. Let's hope we have several more post games after tonight. Let's go Devils. I hope there is. Would love to see more playoff hockey, but just win tonight and get us back home Friday night. I would love to be drinking some ice cold brews on Championship Plaza. Would love it. Playoff hockey at the Rock, nothing like it. I hope I get the opportunity, but for me to get there to drink those beers, it's going to take a New Jersey Devils gutsy performance tonight on the road in a very hostile environment against a very seasoned, battle-tested Canes team. Will the Devils be able to bring enough? Find out in just a couple hours. Serve, now you got me wanting to make a quick Dunkin' iced coffee run. I used to be a Dunkin' iced coffee fiend. And I would always put the turbo shots, they call the espresso shots turbo shots. Now I've been making it myself at home for a while now, and I have like cold espresso and I just make it at home. But I got one for the first time. I forget. I didn't have the supplies or I ran out. I forget. And I was out and about with my mother a couple weeks ago and we had stopped at Dunkin' and I got my iced coffee. And with the 2 turbo shots, I think it was like $9. I was like, whoa, is this Dunkin' Donuts or is this Starbucks? It was like $9. I was like, never again. Let me get back to my homemade. But yeah, that's what's in this tanker. This thing, iced coffee with espresso, and is what keeps me alive. Knowles, bro, love the vlog from Game 4. Thank you very much, sir. I almost didn't put it out. Most games I go to, I film vlog content, I guess, vlog clips. But then I'm just discouraged if it's a loss, and I usually don't put it out. But I made an exception for the playoffs. I'm like, it's the playoffs. I'll still put it out. So, not nearly as many people watch the vlog from a loss as they do for a win. But whatever. I don't really care. It's just sometimes painful when I'm editing to relive the, I kind of give myself PTSD reliving losses like that when I'm sitting there editing the clips. But it's fine, but I'm glad you enjoyed it. Hopefully there's another one from Friday night. Your shirts to say raise our level of play. Yeah, they didn't sell that one. They just had the raise hell. So, that's I can only buy what they have. Husky and Chain, I think we should be wearing red crosses on our shoulders as secondary logos. This is crazy. The injury bug is real. It's real. Michael S., I'd be checking the water at the Rock for contaminants. The injuries are crazy. I don't know how much tainted water could have to do with guys getting concussed and whatever the hell else is wrong, but it's been a long time. Stemming back to last season. Hopefully next year we could have a fully healthy year. But we said that this year, too. We were like, wow, last year, going into this season, we're like, last year sucked. We had so many injuries. If only we could stay healthy this year, maybe we could make a nice little run, have a much better season. And then obviously decimated with injuries once again. So it's just like the black injury cloud is just looming over this team. Thirst for war. We lack a dominant enforcer to protect our players. Are you referring to the Canes or the Devils? Captain Mafungo, what's up? What's up, fellas? Let's go Devils. I'm hoping for the best. Yeah, we all are, and hopefully they pull it off. But it's gonna be a tall order. We have brittle players. Yeah, we do. How I got here, Jeremy Proper at Serve. What's up? It's JP. I don't know what this is. M. Sharp with injuries. I am proud of the fight of this team. To some extent, I don't. Proud is a strong. I mean, because how can you be proud of just failing to seize the game in game 2 when that was massive, right? To come up with the win in game 2 and come back to New Jersey with the split would have been everything. And then failing to seize a huge opportunity when we cut the lead to 3-2 with a cold Kochetkov in net in game 4. It's hard to say proud. I don't know. But in some ways I am. Like, we got nothing at the deadline, and it seemed like we were left for dead and another season punted away. But I've said a million times before, making the playoffs is much better than not making the playoffs. And so I'm happy we're here. But this would be if it all ends tonight, it would be a very, I would say, anticlimactic, unceremonious playoff appearance and subsequent ouster, which I hope we don't see tonight. Jason, no, the Devils have only scored 1 goal that didn't involve Nico, Bratt, or Timo. Yeah, that was what Mercer's goal, right? The big guns have showed up for the most part, and the bottom 6 have been missing in action. Put out the APB. Has anyone seen the bottom 6? Stanley, Ace, things that don't happen always seem to happen to the Devils for some reason. So weird. Boo's face needs to be kidnapped. Alexander the Greg, what happened to Lazard? Did he just lose the coach's faith? Yeah, pretty much. They just kind of went in a different direction, and there's a ton of guys competing for those bottom 6 spots, and he was one of the odd guys out. Also, they're the only team not to score a single power play goal. Pathetic. Ryder says, Siegs and Pesci game time decisions. I feel bad for Keefe at this point. Yeah. He's had to be a miracle worker this year. And listen, a lot of people are coming after Keefe for this team's performance. And like, it's hard. I can't be one of those people. Do I think Keefe is the best coach in the league? No. Do I think he's the worst? No. I think he's kind of an average coach so far here anyway. Had a great track record before he came here. And in the end, he got a team that was decimated by injury, that had a bottom 6 that fell off a cliff, and he got us to the playoffs. You know, you could try to discredit it all you want, but in the end, we're here now. We're getting our asses kicked. But, he's been asked to do a lot with very little. East Highway says Jonas is in the concussion protocol. No shot he plays. I definitely think there's a shot he plays. I'm not going to say I think there's no chance, but I do think it would take a lot for Pesci to be held out. Slurp, whatever happened to the Yzerman type character? You talking about old school Warriors, Slurp? Come on, man. They don't make them like that anymore. Just think about all the legends from back then. It's just a different world now. I could talk about this forever, but I'm going to bore the young people. The players are very different now. That's a bygone era, Slurp. They've gone by the wayside like the dinosaur. Completely extinct. They don't make them like that anymore. Mike Hayes says, need Mike Rupp or Grant Marshall tonight. Talk about some character players on some Cup teams. Love both of those men. Both involved in some massive plays in that 2003 run. Mark McDermott brought to play heavy. Yeah, but he hasn't played much at all this year at all. He played a bunch earlier on in the series. I mean, the series, not the series, the season. And then his appearances kind of tapered off. I don't think that Keefe is a fan of the rough stuff. M Sharp, non-spending killed us. Completely agree. Yeah, I definitely thought so too, Steven. The chick is definitely a porn ad. I saw the profile picture. I'm like, what is this? Probably some kind of bot. Alexander the Greg, y'all hear we have a 1 million cap penalty next season because we overspent on bonuses? I did not hear that. Where was that? I missed that. Knowles, that is my exact order from the glory days. I'd put Breland after Brodeur only because he comes from my parents' old homeland, the USSR, unfortunately. Yeah, shout out to Sergei Breland, another, 3-time Cup champ. The only member of that class of 3-time Cup champs whose number's not retired, but he has the next best honor and was the second ever inductee into the Ring of Honor. Rightfully so. What's going on, Kobe? How the Devils going to golf? They can't find a net, let alone a 4-inch hole. A lot of these guys are very good at golf. A lot of hockey players are very good at golf, and they love playing in the summer. Mike K, we should be wearing different jerseys tonight just to mix it up. I think there's league like rules against that. I don't know that they could just wear whatever they want, and they don't have an alternate road jersey, so I don't know how that would even possibly work. Devil Heaven 77. Hey, Funkers. What's up, Devil Heaven? Stanley, the win tonight would be not losing by more than 4 goals. That's not a win. These guys are battered, tired, and probably not interested in prolonging this much further when early vacation is for the taking. Oh, I really hope that's completely off base. Skywalk and Ace, is there a scenario that the Devils come back or not? Yeah, the scenario is they somehow win 3 games in a row, but it starts with tonight. I think Marky's got to steal one. It's going to be a very hostile building. They're going to be completely jacked up. And first goal, I think, could take the air out of the building. I really hope the Devils play like first goal is everything, because if we could get an early one and settle that crowd down, it could go a long way. But on the flip side, if the Canes score first, I think the building is just going to be in just complete frenzy. Mark, anyone who criticizes Dano for being a homer, you probably weren't alive to see him play. An announcer who's not a homer can kiss the job goodbye. It's pretty true. Almost all announcers are, right? Some with varying degrees of the level of homerism. But I've seen homers way worse than Dano. He tries to be fair. Unfortunately, Grant's not playing tonight, Mike. Daniel, I think we will know within the first 10 minutes what kind of game this will be for us. I think you're right. A lot of times, you know fairly early whether we're going to see a competitive Devils fiery team or you're going to see the more lethargic kind of, less than stellar effort Devils. And if that happens in an elimination game, I will say I will be livid. If they don't leave it all out there on the ice tonight and lose in just like a stinker of a performance, that would really be disheartening. Devil Heaven Ace, how you doing, Chief Rubberneck? I'm doing fine. Just getting ready for this thing to start. Well, I guess I'm getting ready for the MSG pregame. Michael S. Ace, last summer you had a lot of great content. I, for one, really appreciate all the work you did over the summer months. Yeah, I appreciate that, Michael. I have a bunch of different things in store for this summer, so stay tuned. I will be here in and out throughout the summer. A lot of interesting kind of off-season content stuff being planned that I'm sure some of you will like. Jace, no, just force Carolina to have to come back to New Jersey. That's it. One game at a time, as corny as it is. Win tonight and bring these boys back to Jersey so I could have some Friday night beers in Championship Plaza before the game and at least witness one more game. That would suck to win tonight and then lose at home. That would just be so bad. I mean, it's still a better scenario than losing tonight, obviously, but just force a 7. Oh, that'd be phenomenal. Phenomenal. Gunnar Marks, a lot of the head injury, undisclosed injuries sitting out isn't the player's choice. The league didn't always have a true concussion protocol and independent observers pulling players from games. You don't say. There's guys playing concussed constantly back in the day. Carson says, Ace, no matter what, I'll be here tonight, win or lose, to prove Stanley wrong. Okay. Devil Heaven, let's leave it all on the ice tonight, boys. Hopefully they do, and hopefully they find a way to win. And Marky, we trust. My buddy Goody, I would love to see the team win this round, but when I think about it, they would likely get crushed the further they go, especially when the team can't score. I'm kind of on the flip side, my man. I'm thinking, my train of thought going into the series was if they could somehow win this series, I believe they could go on a real miracle run because the confidence would just be that much more boosted. Going through a round of war, beating the Canes, and I think that kind of goes a long way. Now, you could absolutely be right, but they got a long way to go before they win this round, and it starts with just winning tonight. What's going on, Shoots? Let's see if the boys have some fight left. Mike, hey, by the way, the Marky chant kind of bothers me because it sounds too much like Marty. I mean, what are you going to do? The names are similar. James, Casey better be in the lineup tonight. Nothing to lose. Ace, my account got suspended for a day for saying bad things about Fitz. Saying it where? Saying it where? Your account got suspended on what? YouTube? What's going on, Ash? Hey, just joined. What's your prediction for tonight? Huh. I mean, if I'm being honest, I'm not feeling good about it. But you know, I hope they find a way to win. I don't feel great about it. I don't feel great about it at all. But I hope they shock the world. Knowles, Starbucks coffee was always the same price as DD's. No way. No way it is. Just a matter of if you're a regular person coffee or a weird addict like me on that next vlog, I also want to go to another game and do it right. If you're going to a playoff game, I suggest taking in the full experience, which includes getting there early and taking in the sights and sounds of the fan fest outside. How I got here, Jeremy Proper. If Marky gives one up in minute one, pull him. Hopefully he doesn't give one up in the first minute, but I don't like that as a rule. Like, oh, if he gives one up early, pull him. Like, I think it's, I don't know. I don't like that. Hopefully we lock it down and we don't see any goals for Carolina ever in the game, but definitely not in the first minute. Devs fan 125. Ace, do you think Casey will be in tonight? No idea. I cannot predict what is going on inside the brains of the coaching staff. I would love to see him in there. I think he should be playing no matter what, but we're going to find out closer to the game. Utica's already trailing 3-0. The Devils have been outchanced on the rush 33-9. That's insane. That is insane. That's like a 3.5 to 1 ratio. That's terrible. Yeah, I didn't even realize Utica was still playing. What? Utica's not even in the playoffs. What are you talking? I'm so confused. Oh. Metalander Macmillan bought the Colorado Rockies for $32 million and sold to Yankee Nets for $175 million. They're now valued at $2.1 billion. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. And then what did Yankee Nets sell it to Vanderbeek? Ash, I hate those people who think the Devils are just getting walked on this series. We have fought so hard through so much, way more than any other team, and people are just like, why are the Devils here? Yeah, the Devils have been getting disrespected forever, but, you know, who cares? I saw the team win 3 cups while fans talked all kinds of smack, and we won 3 cups in 9 seasons, so the disrespect has always been there, even when we were constantly going on deep playoff runs. Gentlemen, getting Dumoulin has been huge. Yeah, Dumoulin's been playing some monster minutes, and has really worked out. Didn't like the price we paid for him, obviously, but you know, he's, with all these injuries, he's played a big part in all these games. Skywalking, like and sub, please. Yeah, thanks. Hit the thumbs up for your boy and hit subscribe if you haven't. I mean, it is crazy when I look at the stats for videos. Such a small percentage of the people that watch the videos are subscribers. I don't know why it's such a mental hurdle to click the subscribe button. But the more subscribers I get, the more fun experiences I could bring you all on. So hopefully we just keep slowly climbing the hill. Skank Hunt, can Steve the Maniac call in for once? I try to get Steve the Maniac to call in. He just For whatever reason, I think he's got stage fright. I don't know what he didn't originally, but I think as the kind of viewership has grown, I think he got a little bit of cold feet. I don't know. I don't know what it is. I think in the beginning, or at least the couple times or one time he called in, he didn't. I don't know. I just think as the numbers got a little bit bigger, I think maybe the stage is a little too big for him. He's a little afraid. I'm not really sure, but I wish I could get him to, because some of the conversations we have amongst each other would be, I think you guys would find highly entertaining. But I still try once a week, but I get the same kind of resistance every time. Mike K, I don't think Keefe has done a great job coaching. I want him to show more passion. Yeah, but just like what people say about Nico being a captain, like not everybody kind of leads the same way. Like I personally like to see the fire as well, like shown to the world. But if that's not your thing, so be it. Just get wins and get results. At that point, you know, I'm not going to complain that you're not showing the passion. Again, I personally like that kind of demeanor as well. But if it's not his personality, his style, so be it. Get the wins. Stanley, I was proud of the effort in Game 3. They earned that win. Game 2 was okay, I guess. Majority of the series has been a cluster. Not much to feel good about. It all could have been so much different if we found a way to win that last game. If we could have went back tonight being tied 2-2. How much better would everyone feel if it was 2-2 right now? My God. Jay Snow said, Keefe said after the game his team had no scoring depth all year and didn't expect it to come now. Yeah, I agree. Obviously, when I heard him say that, I thought it was interesting. A lot of people tried to obviously jump on that and make it into a huge deal. And, you know, people were, you know, I do think making a slightly bigger deal out of it than it was. But they were saying like, oh, shots fired. He's firing shots at Fitzgerald. Like, I don't know that they're necessarily shots at Fitzgerald. I think he's just kind of stating the obvious. Like, you know, what did everyone think was going to just miraculously change? I don't know. I wasn't expecting the bottom six to all of a sudden just start generating goals left and right. I mean, that would just be kind of silly. We saw for months and months of it not doing anything. So for you to believe it was going to happen in the playoffs, I think would be very, very delusionally optimistic. Devil 1177, Keefe is a solid coach, just doing the best with what he's got to work with. Completely agree. M. Sharp, not the players' fault. Reinforcements were not brought in. Our bottom six is subpar. No one to bring up the lines. No one to bring up the line with injuries. I think Keefe has set the stage for defensive structure. Yeah, and I think that's the only reason we were even in the playoffs, to be honest. We were just so bad in 2025 with all the injuries and the bottom six falling off a cliff, playing every night with several AHL caliber players. I think the defensive structure is literally what got us to here. Richard, Devils must score the first goal tonight. The Invisible Man Mercer needs to contribute. Well, the Invisible Man Mercer is the only one outside of the big three, being timomeier, nicohischier, jesperbratt. Only player outside of that big three to have a goal, Richard. So, you know, point that aggression at some other guys, because Mercer at least has a goal here. Stanley 62495, Keefe can't make chicken salad with chicken shit. I'm really struggling to remember a roster this bad that actually competed in a playoff game. The potential lineup for tonight is pitiful. It really is. But hopefully they find a way. And I'm hoping we see Casey. And imagine if Seamus Casey became the story of the game. If he was just a complete X factor and just woke the power play up, generated some chances. Would love to see it. Snell, glad the boys are showing fight without our full squad. Fully healthy, I think it's opposite. And tonight the Devils would be up 3-1. Our injuries like this won't happen again. Just bad luck this year. Snell, I don't know how you could really believe that the injuries won't happen again. I mean, credit to you for being super optimistic. But after what we saw this season and this season, at this juncture, I have no reason to believe we're not going to see a ton of injuries again next year. What is going to change? Jeter Toker, speaking of Breland, I saw a couple wearing Breland Adidas jerseys last game. Ooh, that's a jersey faux pas in my book. But listen, whatever makes you happy. It just makes me die inside a little bit. Kim, Kobe, Dilly, and Luke all out tonight, and Siegs and Pesci are game time decisions. Injuries are killing us. This is so sad. Yeah, it is. Hopefully they persevere, Kim. Christopher, I'm a new fan from New Jersey. Did I make the wrong choice? No, man. Welcome to the Devils fandom. And especially if you live in New Jersey, what other choice did you have? You got to rock with the only team the state of New Jersey has. The only professional team in the state of New Jersey is our beloved New Jersey Devils. It's treasonous, an act of downright treason if you live in New Jersey and you are not a Devils fan. I'll put an asterisk on that. If you were born into another fandom, I'll accept that as an excuse to not be a Devils fan. Like, oh, your dad was a Rangers fan, fine. I'll let that slide. But if you are a first generation hockey fan and you live in New Jersey and you are not a Devils fan, shame on you. Shame on you. Ari, Ace, I'm going to black out with you post game if we lose tonight. Let's go Devils. Oh man, it's going to be a sorry night if that happens. And the amount of dooming, I'm already dreading it. Hopefully the boys could push the doomers off at least for one more game. Mr. Snowford, will there be a new jersey next season to replace the jersey? No announcements yet. I wouldn't be surprised. For those that are unaware, the manufacturer changed this season. For a few years before this year, Adidas was the official manufacturer and supplier of the on-ice jerseys. They now have switched to Fanatics. Supposedly, they're using the same factories in Canada to make them, and so they wanted minimal disruption and minimal change to the actual jersey. But I have not heard anything. I have not heard anything in a while regarding that. I wouldn't be surprised because originally when Fanatics took over, I think they said there was a thing that, the Fanatics was asking teams not to change any styles for at least a couple of years or a few years. So I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see an alternate maybe for another year. So if the jersey goes away as they had stated, there's a chance where we only have the red and white jerseys maybe for a year or two. I hope not. I would love to see another alternate brought out like soon. That's, something to get excited about. And you guys all know what I'm looking for. But Samuel, they have to beat that damn forecheck. Yes, they do. But it is very, very troubling. Devil 1177, let's quiet the crowd early. Go hard. Dude, my eyes are getting puffy. My allergies are bad again. Yeah, I could feel my eyes like swelling. Derek, if it weren't for Rempe, McDermott wouldn't have his contract. McDermott should buy Rempe a nice dinner. Maybe. But good for Curtis. Finally, we had a backbone once he came here last year. Snell, if we lose tonight, I hope the owner strongly consider getting rid of Fitz ASAP and look for a GM that has a win now mindset before July 1 so some big deals can be done this summer. It's not happening. Sorry to disappoint you. Fitz isn't going anywhere. I do believe to some extent he kind of did exactly what the owners wanted of him. And in the end, with the cap situation being what it is, I don't know what kind of big deals you're looking to make, but there's not going to be a lot of money. Lukey Boy is about to get a massive payday. And there's not going to be much money to go around. Stanley, our luck, Devils will race out to a 2-0 lead, then, of course, not be able to defend it with the skeleton crew. Oh, my God. If they go up 2-0, they must win the game. I mean, that goes without saying. If they take a 2-0 lead in this one, in a literal must-win game, and then blow it, what a final kick in the nuts on the year it would be, right? I mean, wow. Why do you even put that stuff out there in the ether, Stanley? That's terrible. That would be wow. Brooks says if Anderson was in goal, it would be a done deal. I mean, never say, I don't like to speak in such definitive terms. You never know what could happen in a game. That's why they play the games. But I do like the idea of Kochetkov coming in, for his first start of the series. He obviously played a good chunk of the last game. But M. Shar, how's that fire in Jersey, Ace? I honestly don't even watch them. Like, I'm just so and just over the news cycle and all the sensationalism with everything going on in the world that I honestly almost have been living exclusively in a hockey bubble with some random little bits of other things. But yeah, I honestly haven't even looked at anything about the fire. It's super far away from me. So, I don't really know much about it, if I'm being honest. Snell, too many big unrestricted free agents this summer to have a liability like Fitz running the team. We need a GM to go out and get us some players. Where's the money coming from, Snell? Show me the money. Snow says, I don't trust Fitz. Ben Jam, and I still have my blades from high school. Played some D at St. Pete's. Put me in. How bad could I be? I mean, I'm only 55. I like it, Ben. Show up at the rink and be like, I'm ready to go. Alan, let's go Devils. So depressing to think if we are bounced, we have the whole summer to go through until October. It's crazy, right? This season flew. It's like, yeah, if we get knocked out tonight, we have a 5-month off season, essentially. Oh, my God. So bad. Devil Dog, it's rock bottom when for years we make fun of New York Rangers fans for slobbering over Messier in 94, and we now do the same with some of our past players and past cups. We've come full circle. Well, at least our most recent cup is 9 years more recent than theirs. They're talking about something that's now 31 years old. Our precious 2003 cup team was only 22 years ago. So, it's not quite as bad. It's bad, but it's not as bad. Not even worth trying. Hope to see Casey get ice time tonight. Oh, that makes 2 of us and many more of us. Seamus Casey must be in tonight. Devil Heaven, my boy Seamus in the lineup tonight. About time. Just our weird media top secret. It's not confirmed unless it just came out since I got on here. I haven't seen, there's multiple guys, game time decision. I'm trying to see if there's been any updates. I don't see anything. We'll probably find out maybe a little bit before the game. Let me just check another source. Yeah, nothing yet. M Sharp, maybe the crowd noise in Carolina will fire up the Devils. It's interesting. We're going to find out. Would love to get one in the first couple minutes and silence that crowd. The weightlifting lab, what's going on? Marky is going to be stellar tonight. Let's go, Devils. Well, I want to see Marky steal one in the worst way. Stealing one tonight would be phenomenal. Snell, Nikola Ehlers would be a great fit with Nico and Timo. He would, but we have no money to pay him. Brooks, Timo going to be a target all game. Very interesting subplot. Are they going to try to play some rough stuff? Mr. Meyer's ready and willing, so I'm very curious to see. Would love to see some fisticuffs. I thought maybe, you generally don't see it a lot in the playoffs, but I thought maybe, just maybe, we would have seen it at some point. But maybe, Freddie Anderson getting bowled over will kind of give the Canes a little extra, snarl tonight, and maybe we'll see the gloves come off. Gentlemen, it's been tough listening to other pods completely bashing on this series. One of my go-tos, What Chaos, I've lost a lot of respect for. Yep, not watching that. Or 3/4 of the three out of 4 of the games are good tonight. What's What Chaos? I'll be honest, I don't really watch a ton of stuff on YouTube or really elsewhere. Outside of a couple pods. What Chaos? Let me see. Yeah, who are these guys? I've seen them before. I've watched a couple things of theirs. What Chaos? Yeah, I've seen a couple of the things. It's just like a generic hockey pod, right? Yeah. Mark, I would have loved to see a healthy Devils team against this Carolina team. I think we could have taken them down. I mean, maybe, maybe not. But in the end, I think it would have been much closer. And we're obviously feeling, we missed Jack for a long time. But now with Luke being out, that power play looks like duty. Duty. Richard, Timo has to keep his cool tonight as they'll go after him. And hopefully he draws penalties and we can break through on the power play. Hopefully. But my God, that power play is abysmal. Devil Dog for 175 million to 2.1 billion. Yeah, values have been. Bratt has to bring his A game tonight for any chance of a win. Would love to see Bratter kind of go off tonight, but I think in the end, it's the majority of it's going to be on Marky's shoulders here because we're not going to score a ton. Marky's got to really hold it down. Mike K, our lineup is so flawed. Siegs turned out to be a huge loss because Dumoulin is our best defenseman minutes-wise now, and our bottom two forward lines are pretty bad. Fire Fitz, hire Lou. Fitz is not going to get hired. I think Lou might be done, but, do I think there's plenty of people out there that could do a better job than Fitz? Yeah. I mean, the bar is very low. Great. He had a great offseason the summer, but once again, when the season comes around, I don't know what's going on. The weightlifting lab, the physicality has to be there for a whole 60 minutes tonight. They can't stop hitting and sit back after they score. Seems to be the pattern, except in game 3. I would love for us to get a quick one and then get another one. I really want a 2-0 lead after the first period. I'm being super greedy, but it'd be nice to just be able to relax en route to a win. And obviously our only win of the series was a double overtime thriller. Devil Dog McMullen sold to Yankee Nets and Yankee Nets sold to Vanderbeek. Snell, Matt Duchene, Stanley Cup winner, experienced, gritty hitter who could score. Devils need to go out and get these guys. Yeah, I would love a veteran guy like that, but the problem is he's probably just going to stay in Dallas. They're a good team on the verge of advancing past the Avs here in the first round. I don't see why he wouldn't sign a team-friendly deal to stay there. And I think the same is going to happen with Jamie Benn and any other free agents that they have. I think they're all going to really try to win one there. Go Boro. Thanks for the super. Let's freaking go Ace. Hugs for Ace. Appreciate that, Go Boro. As always, thank you very much. I'm just hoping tonight's not the end. I hope it's not the end of the ride for this 24-25 Devils team. I really hope not. But thank you, Go Boro. Hopefully the boys force us back to New Jersey and give us at least one more game of playoff hockey. Brooks. Timo's going to get pushed around all night. I mean, good luck. Who's going to push him around? I could see him trying. Timo's a bull. Timo the bull. Brandon, hoping for an exciting game tonight. Yeah, we all are. But in the end, I'll take a boring one if we win it as well. I just want to see a win. I don't care about all the other stuff. Johnny, new here and ready to see Markstrom kick ass tonight. Welcome, Johnny. And I am also hoping that Markstrom kicks ass tonight because I think the only chance we have of winning is Marky close to stealing it. Maybe we could win in a non-thefted game, but I do think this would be an opportune and an ideal time for Marky to come out there and be like, listen, boys, jump on Papa's back. I'm stealing this one, and we're going back to New Jersey. I hope so. I really hope he could have a dominant performance and drag it back to New Jersey because I don't want the season to be over tonight. World's Worst Gamer for sure. Nobody is going to subscribe to channels that are not of their favorite team. I never do. I don't know what that's in reference to. I guess I'm a while back in time. Talking about the viewers. Yeah, but that was the case even during the regular season. So I'd have to imagine are non-Devils fans watching random, not the playoff specific videos, but Devils centric videos. Are there that many people that aren't Devils fans watching videos about the Devils? I mean, I guess it's possible. Not even worth trying. Obviously sucks having core guys out, but do you think having some of these younger guys get their feet wet with playoff hockey will help give the team an edge going into next season trial by fire? Yeah, absolutely. Teams don't just become winners overnight for the most part. There's obviously been, examples of that, but in the end, when you look at teams that win, even look at the Lightning, right? They won 2 cups in the past however many years. They didn't just come out of nowhere and win the cup. They, had a couple runs where they went through some rounds. They kind of learned together what the playoffs are about, what you got to do to win, playoff atmosphere, all that. And that 2017-18 season when Taylor Hall dragged a pretty mediocre Devils team to the playoffs. We lost to the Lightning in round 1, and that was kind of like the beginning of that mini little dynasty for them. And you have to go as a team through those years where you win a round, win 2 rounds, maybe even get to the finals, whatever it is, before you finally get over the hump. So obviously, and that's why I tell people and have for years that, it's playoffs or bust. Like, making the playoffs is huge because of the learning experience. It is invaluable. You cannot make up for that elsewhere. There is nothing like getting these guys that playoff experience as a unit, even more so for the younger guys. And that is exactly why I was furious last season that we missed the playoffs after making it in 22-23, because I thought that was multiple steps backwards. Like, Jack, Luke, all these young kids got their first taste of playoff action. They won a round, went through, saw what it is. You go to Carolina, and obviously, bad matchup for us. They killed us in the second round in 5. Hopefully that doesn't repeat itself tonight. But how do you follow that up with not making the playoffs? Like, getting playoff experience last year would have been very beneficial for the group this time around this year, but they didn't have that last year. So in short, the answer to your question is yes, making the playoffs is massive for, guys' confidence and just getting them accustomed to what playoff hockey is really all about. Jem Card, if this is the last game of the season, I just want to thank you for everything, Ace. You make being a Devils fan so much better. Let's go Devils. I appreciate that, Jem Card. Thank you very much. Hopefully it's not the last game. My buddy, we went to my first playoff game on Sunday, riding high off the W on Friday. It was fun, but it only made me wish that I went to playoff games during the glory years, but I was the only hockey fan in the house back then. I get it, man. At least it was interesting for a couple minutes during that game. I was surprised how many people said after game 3 that was their first playoff game. And I was like, wow, you guys were extremely spoiled that your first playoff game to go to live was a double overtime thriller. I mean, that's setting the bar pretty high for which all future playoff games will be measured by. But there's nothing like playoff hockey. I tell everyone, I mean, if you can, get your ass to a playoff game because they're insane. Devil Heaven Ace, what are the chances of getting few player interviews in your studio, brother? Maybe a few Dirty Devil vodkas. I got some interviews. I already have one that's, in the editing phase that I will put out shortly after our season ends, whatever that is. Hopefully not for a while. And I have a bunch of others I'm going to film over the summer, but I don't want to do them in my studio. I think it's better. I have some other kind of interesting things that I'm going to try with the interviews. So we'll see, but hopefully it's an interesting summer of talking to some interesting people. Jay Snow, look at Colorado's lineup up and down. It's insane compared to ours. You could say that about a lot of teams, I think. Nick, Ace, I've been meaning to ask you this for months. Where do you get your game-worn stuff, and where can one get authentic non-game-worn jerseys like the CCMs? The game-worn stuff I've accumulated over years. There is an official supplier that gets the current stuff. If you want to shoot me an email, I could kind of guide you a little bit better. I would say shoot me an email, Nick. And as far as like the older authentic stuff, you got to find it, on different marketplaces and things. But if you need some help, shoot me an email. I'll definitely try to point you in the right direction. Jason says, forget dooming. Tonight could be the last game for months. I certainly hope not. It's so gross. I can't believe we're already here. We're already here. It happened so quick. The season went by so quick. Snell, I'd like to see us get a fully black jersey with the normal logo, rock them in the playoffs at home like the Canes rock their thirds. Yeah, I've showed the jersey. The old school black, the black jersey I've worn a couple times on here is nearly perfect. I could accept a few minor modifications, but that would be amazing. And I would also love just an inverse of the Stadium Series jersey. Black jersey, red logo with no circle. That would also be fire. James Israel, yeah, no dooming. Let's appreciate the effort from a very shorthanded team. Fire fits. Andrew, any news of either Dylan Hughes or Kovacic playing tonight? Or are they starting Casey? You're late, Andrew. We talked about this forever, but Dylan Hughes, Kovacevic out. Siegenthaler and Brett Pesce game time decisions, and so that could impact whether Casey is in or not. Hoping to see Casey, but we're not going to know anything until game time or right before. Devil have an ace, but other companies are making jerseys other than Fanatics. Well, Fanatics is the only one making the current ones. They're the only ones making the current jerseys. You know, different manufacturers had the rights over the years, but right now, Fanatics is the only game in town. Brooks, tonight is going to be chippy. Timo going to be a target. Oh, I'd love to see a chippy game and a big Devils win. Husky Unchained, I'm coming on here tonight to do him and chew bubblegum, and I'm all out of bubblegum these 2 days. Oh, man. I hope not. I was commenting on one of your videos, and I got a 24-hour suspension on YouTube. I couldn't come. Wow, that's wild. I wonder if is that because someone reported it, or is that like an automated thing? How do you get suspended? I mean, it's pretty crazy. But hold on 1 second. I got to mute you guys. Hold on. It's my grandma. Oh, sorry about that, guys. Wow. God bless my grandma. She's 93, but she is deaf as shit. Oh man, she basically has no hearing in one ear, and then her one working ear is like probably half or 60% gone. So I literally have to scream into my phone for her to hear me, and it is the most frustrating thing. And then she gets an attitude as if like I'm literally screaming. It's a pain. But anyway. Yeah, suspensions on YouTube, not fun. Jason, no, realistically, if they want to just sign Luke and try to sign a couple players with the remaining money, those teams are not a real cup contender. They're going to have to do something, but it's going to most likely only really be a reinvention of the bottom six, in my opinion. That's probably what we're going to see. I don't think you're going to see any sort of massive moves just because the money's not there. Outside of the chance that, you know, say a guy like Dougie is moved or Palat or something like that, that'll free up some money, but I don't know if either one of those things, you know, will happen this summer. Alan, Ace, same here. That good old Jersey allergy ship and suffering for about, I go in and out of it, but today I was outside for a while earlier. And now I can feel my eyes are a little itchy and they're starting to feel a little puffy and irritated. How I got here, Jeremy Proper, that dumpster fire in Vancouver will drop Quinn on our roster sooner than later. I hope we don't trade for him. I've talked about this. I just don't want to waste assets. If he could be here in 2 years for free, then just wait. Shroom Goon, there's no reason to leave anything in the tank tonight. If there's any game to skate through the wall for your team, it's tonight. You would have thought the same thing about last game, right? It's like, you know, do you really need it to be an actual elimination game to really go all out? But maybe they do. We'll see. Hoping for the best. And hopefully they bring this thing back to New Jersey. Come on, man. It's a hey, 22 years is a lot more recent than 31 years. Let's be real. Sherry, what's up? The NJ fires as of yesterday morning were covered 15,300 acres, and the fires were 75% contained. That's crazy. Didn't they arrest a kid because he was like, I think he was like lighting pallets on fire or some shit? And I think he got arrested. He was 19. He looked like he was 40, but Dire Straits, not even Amanda Stein is reporting tonight. She's not reporting because she had posted that she, I don't know, had some personal matters to attend to. Knowles, I would think Casey plays tonight, but we won't know until game time. I really hope he is. Amagi, as per my inside source, Jack is taking the ice tonight as Fitz threatened to feed him concessions from the Pro if he refused to play. Morgan, as much of a problem as I have with Fitz, he does have good off seasons. Fitz struggles with in-season trades, but gets work done in the off season. But the problem is that in the end, you need to be good at both. And you can make the argument that the in-season moves are more important than the off-season because it's like now you see what the team is doing, right? And if you wait to the deadline, at that point you have seen the team play for nearly 5 months, early October to early March. So now whatever you went into the season with, you have a 5-month block where you could analyze the shortcomings or what needs to be fixed, and you have that time to then tinker. Not doing anything in the season is just unforgivable. And it's happened 2 years in a row. 2 years in a row. Gentlemen, you had Pete on from what, Chaos, man? I have no idea what you're talking about, gentlemen. Alexander the Greg, Casey is going to be Akira 2.0 and bring that rookie magic. I would love to see it. I would love to see it. The rookie hero. I don't know if anyone's going to duplicate the Akira legend run, though. Being down 2-0 to the Rangers and going to the Garden and coming up with the series dub. Go Boro. Just if this is the last game of the season, Ace, just want to say despite everything, you've been epic this year, and thanks for being hella cool despite all the big nights. Yeah, I appreciate that. I'll still be here in and out throughout the summer. Like I said, I might do some playoff stuff after the Devils are out. I haven't really decided or thought about it, but I'll be doing different kinds of things throughout the summer. Obviously, the two biggest things of the summer for the Devils are going to be the draft and free agency, and then they have the rookie camp. There'll be a couple other little things, and any sort of news, I'll have videos popping out, and I'll do random lives here and there. But obviously, nowhere near the frequency of the season with all the games played in the NHL. Andrew, looking to get a new Devil jersey. Do you recommend any of the old jerseys? I was thinking of the black and red Stadium Series jersey. I mean, you just mean the red jersey with the black logo? I would say get whatever you like. I like the old jerseys because they're cut very differently, and I like my stuff very baggy and loose. The newer jerseys in the past few years they're kind of tapered, and I'm not a fan of anything tapered. And so I don't love those jerseys to wear, but everyone has a different preference. But I'm an old school guy. I like the old pattern with the thicker stripe on the bottom. Devil Dog, Tampa got embarrassed by Columbus in the first round and built on it. Gotta go through the fire. All of its learning lessons before you eventually hoist that cup. And unfortunately, this team just seems kind of far off. World's worst gamer for sure. I watch many other teams' channels to troll them and laugh at them when their teams choke. It don't mean I sub, though. Why would I want to? I'm a Devils fan. No, that makes sense. But I'm just saying, like, some videos that are just about the Devils and have nothing to do with any other team. So it's like, why would you even watch it if you weren't a Devils fan? But who knows? Corey, our prospect pool is weak. We need to start going forward heavy in the next few drafts and hope we hit. Yeah, I'd love to see some big boy centers, big boy wingers, preferably North Americans. I love the American and Canadian boys, and I'd love some big grueling players up front. Devil Heaven, playoffs is great for this team. Great camaraderie for the locker room. Nick, the Lightning also struck huge, and the Devils signed the worst player in the league, Andre Plot, away from them. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. David, we didn't get swept. That's okay. This season we have a low chance of winning. That's loser mentality. Come on. Obviously, you know, you don't want to get swept, but is that really where the bar is as a fan base? It's like, oh, just make the playoffs. That's good enough. And then don't get swept. You know, I expect a lot more. I expect a lot more than that. I have higher hopes. Edward Ace, what are your thoughts on Holla? You know, look, he's kind of slowed down in the past couple seasons. You know, not a lot this year. Was hurt for a little bit, I think. Yeah, so let's see. 22-23, he had 41 points. Then he had 35 last year, and this year he has 21 in 69 games. Like, you know, could you do better in the bottom six? Yes. I also think you could do worse. You know, it is what it is. Not everyone's gonna, like I told people in the summer, not everyone could have a career year. And so when you know, he's part of one of the guys that had that big cold streak or whatever. And as a collective unit, the bottom six just massively underperformed this year. It is what it is. I do like some of Halla's game. I'm not gonna roast him like tons of people have, but you know, did he have a down season? Absolutely. M Sharp, I think the Devils get views from non-fans and they're playing great. Maybe specific players don't think it is a top series to watch in the playoffs. Oh, whoa. It's definitely not. I got an echo situation here. Let me just. Oh, man. Are we going to see Woodson tonight if we lose? All the Doomers will be out tonight. Go Boro, guys. Do we keep Glass or let him go? I think he's going to want like $3 million. I don't know if that's really worth it. I'm curious. Money aside, I think he's been fine. But again, is he moving the needle for anybody? I don't think so. I think he had a point in his like first two games and people were going crazy. But he's come back to earth. He's had a couple points since he's been here. Like, is he a serviceable bottom six? Sure. But is he like something we'll die without? No. And so for $3 million, I don't know that I spend the $3 million on that. We'll find out. But again, I think that's insignificant. Vic says, think we might keep him. Nick says, Glass can go. Go Bor, I'd love to get Cam Jansen in for a big live game in future. They just had Dano on. I didn't get to watch the whole thing yet. I probably watched like the first 20 minutes, but if you haven't seen Cam and Strick, check it out. Great hockey podcast. Former New Jersey Devil, Cam Jansen, and he had on Dano on the most recent episode that came out today. Vic says Fitz 5 years, $6.25 million, full no trade clause for Glass. Beachmaster Ace didn't get all the way through the Danico interview. What did he say about the current team? I didn't either. I only watched like the first 20 minutes or so. And the only thing that he was really talked about the current team was just how badly injured we were, kind of at the top of the show. So I didn't get the interview. I'll definitely, finish it up later, but I only saw like the first 20 minutes or so. M Sharp, Nemet's goal in double OT in the playoffs, invaluable experience and feeling. Absolutely. It's all part of growing. Zupamaki, Ace, are you planning on doing lives, team updates throughout the summer? Yeah. It's not going to be to the extent of the season, obviously, but I will be here in the summer doing probably not as many live, obviously not as many lives, but I'll do an occasional live, and there'll always be, news kind of update videos for sure, some interviews, some other things I've been working on. So keep it tuned in. I'm not going anywhere. Just my appearances will be a little more infrequent. Mr. Snowford, Ace, what's the name of that spot where you got the Dylan autographs? Assume they do signings all year long. Yes, they do. Oh, hold on. It's Sports Minded Unlimited. I'll drop the link in the description. Great family-owned business. Been going there for years for Devils signings. Links in the description. You could look them up on social media and stuff as well. All their social media links are in the top right of the website. Yeah, sports-minded. I don't know how many Devils they'll have in the summer, but I believe they usually get at least a couple. But highly recommend it. Great place. Michael Shane, Ace, can I email you my design of a third jersey? Want some feedback? Sure, send it on over. RME, the nicest black jersey option is simply reversing the colors on the Stadium Series jersey. I think that would be phenomenal. I think that would be a winner. Go Bora, I wonder if a red Stadium Series Devils logo would look on the jersey. I think it could look sick. I don't like all the excessive bars on the white stripes. Like, it's just too much for me. I would like to see something completely different. Devil Heaven, I'd like to see black and red, just like Lowell Devils jerseys back in the day. Those are some nice ones. Weightlifting Lab, if Dougie gets 3 hits tonight, we win. He had 3 hits in game 3. I'll take the win anyway. Ninja Foot, what time does the Fire Fitzy podcast start? I hope it's not till a while from now. Stanley, you know your season is over when third jersey talk takes center stage during playoff game day. No, Noel's Grandma's Boy was on. Absolutely amazing movie, by the way. Love Linda Cardellini. She makes a great Velma also. Grandma's Boy is an underrated classic. No, my grandma doesn't care about sports at all. Not at all. She does not care at all. And she's not much of a cook either. Yeah, this grandma, my grandmother is she's a very interesting woman. Very minimalistic in life. Comes out with some great one-liners, though. Some excellent one-liners. Vic, Ace, I feel your pain. I have to do that exact thing with my grandma, too. When she can't hear, she says, talk louder. Then I talk louder, and she says, you're yelling. It's annoying. She can't even hear when I'm yelling. M. Sharp, excellent point, Ace. You have to be ready for off-season and in-season needs now and map out problems that can arise. Yeah. The season moves matter much more than off-season. And we did nothing this year that was substantial. So it is what it is. It's unfortunate. But hopefully, I'm not going to say fully healthy, because at this point, that's never happening. We're never going to be fully healthy. But a more healthy team next year with a revamped bottom 6 hopefully goes a long way, and we have a better regular season and go further in the playoffs. That's all I could hope for. But next year is the last year of the Jacob Markstrom contract, and that is a win now move. And so if you have a guy like Marky for 2 years, like I said the day we got him, you must continue to maneuver as a win now team. Rapid Blue is a new black. How about an alternate jersey influenced by Marky's goalie helmet? Whoever designed that did a magnificent job. Yeah, it's a guy in Canada. He's a sick artist. Beautiful masks that he's made for Marky. He has several of them at this point. Casey and Sprong get on the board tonight. I don't think. Wait, hold on. Let me just look back now. Was Sprong on the? Yeah, Sprong's not playing. No Sprong tonight. I'm hoping Casey gets on the board, though. Javier, it seems that this management has been learning the last 10 years without results. Don't get me started. 8th year in the league for Jesperbratt and nicohischier. 1 playoff round win and 7 playoff games won. Let that reality sink in. Let it sink in. Jeff, it's the bar when management won't make the appropriate moves at the trade deadline. Top-down losers. Man. Devil Heaven, LeChance, Yegorov, Salayev, Seamus Casey. Yeah, those are all the future is bright players. But like, do you honestly think that Jacob Markstrom or some of the older guys give a shit about any of that? No. Because they want to win now. They don't got that long. By the time those guys are relevant and trying to help us win in the playoffs, that's years down the road. What are you going to do now as this core continues to age? Ryan Demand, do you think Fitz re-signs Allen in the offseason? I just don't think I think in his head he would love to. But there's just no money to do it. So I just don't see how he could. There's no money. No money for it. LJ says Hall is like Stefan Richer compared to Bastion. Man. M Sharp Ace, do you go to the shore at all during the summer? Of course. Who doesn't? I love the Jersey Shore. I go to all different spots. All different places. But I'm a big shore guy, for sure. Alex, sorry, man, but the theme shows this team ain't getting past this game. Love the Devils and love the channel. Thanks, man. I hope you're wrong. I hope they somehow win this game, but I obviously agree that the odds are definitely against us, given everything we've seen and know. But I will continually hope for the best. Hope for a somewhat of a miracle, a small-scale miracle, I suppose, and that they find a way to get it done. But I think it's basically going to come down to, can Marky steal this thing? Trevor, we could possibly win tonight if players like Nason, Cotter, Hall show up. Lack of bottom 6 support killing us. Let's go Devils. It is. Devil Heaven Ace, did you say you have the Lowell Devils jersey? I do. Not one that I wear. I have a game worn in my collection. But it's not accessible. But I do have a Lowell Devils jersey in the collection. I like to try to get some of the affiliate, the Devils minor league affiliates over the years. Yeah, it would scare all the the children, but look sick. Yeah, Marky mask themed jersey. Weightlifting Lab, I hope we sign Marky for another 2 years. He deserves a big night from him. Let's go Devils. Well, that's not going to happen for a while, but if he looks good next year and doesn't get hurt, I could see him definitely playing for another year or two beyond his contract. Stanley, just imagine 2 top overall picks, Luke Nemitz. They even caught a gem in the 6th round with Bratt, and after all that 7 playoff wins to show for it, fire Booze Face. Now, listen, I do think no one has done less with more. The draft fortunes that we were handed, the pieces that he started with, I do think, we're potentially behind where we were 2 years ago. And so I'm not happy about it. And I know many other people aren't either. It is what it is. It's an unfortunate kind of reality right now for this team. Weightlifting Lab, sign Marky for another 2 and bring in Dawes. Allen is going to demand too much in free agency. He's going to get paid from somebody. Devil Heaven Ace, have you ever been to the Satrial's Sopranos pork store? I haven't, but I'm pretty sure it was bulldozed not too long ago. In the past couple years, it was knocked down, and I think they developed like some sort of, I don't know, some sort of housing on it, which is basically all over New Jersey at this point. Just shit getting mowed down for condos and apartments and whatever else. Beachmaster says, I think Devils win tonight. I hope so. I hope so. It would be phenomenal. I'd love to be back at the Rock Friday, drinking those ice cold beers on Championship Plaza, hoping to see a game 7 at that point. If we win tonight and we're at game 6, it's like, all right, win this and we go to 7. Sean, stay live and stream the game. No chance. There's too many delays. There's too many things. No, I can't do it. People have mentioned it before. Maybe I'll do a couple like that next year. Maybe. But, I like to just kind of chill and lock in, and I'm in the zone watching the game, and this is just Devil Heaven. Yeah, I grew up close to, I was able to meet James Gandolfini, rest in peace, the late James Gandolfini, a.k.a. Tony Soprano, several times because they filmed the majority of this right near where I grew up. So, I've been to the Sopranos family house a million times, and Johnny Sack's house is around the corner. A bunch of the restaurants they showed. A lot of it was all just kind of right around, and we would see them out and about filming regularly. What a time. What a time to be alive. Spirit in the sky, hanging there, Devils fans. We are a decade away from being constantly good. If that's the case, I'm just going to jump off a cliff. The future has been bright for 10 years. I can't wait anymore. Brian, what's up, buddy? What's going on? We're getting closer to the pregame. I'm going to have to get off of here in a couple seconds. Spirit in the sky. You said it twice. Okay. I have not been to the Bing, actually. That's not too far from where I am, but it's not super close, but I know a bunch of people that have been. That's not really my thing. There's a lot of other things I'd rather waste money on personally than the Bing. Zupamaki, Devils must endure the first 10 minutes. If we are tied or winning, we could steal this one. I just want first goal and to silence that crowd. Get the first goal and shut them all up. Oleg, my friend, was an extra on one of the Sopranos episodes. Nice. Ryan, if you all hear that Hataka is gone and no longer with the Devils. Yeah, I kind of figured that was happening. Like I said, once we had all those injuries late in the season and he was never called up. I was like, all right, there's something up here. With all the injuries, he was never called up, and a lot of us thought he would have been. And it never happened. And then at the deadline, we got Dumoulin and Chalowski, and to me, that was definitely the writing on the wall. It's like, all right, well, if we went out and traded for these guys, Hataka definitely has no future here for whatever reason, and that's it. So whatever, not a huge loss, but a very bizarre situation in my opinion. Stanley says we're in for the mother of all floggings tonight, dear Lord. I certainly hope you're completely wrong. Ryan says the Bing sucks. I feel like that's an actual review right there. Ethan, thank you for your lives. I love them. You're a funny guy. Let's go Devils. Thanks, Ethan. Weightlifting Lab, I want the first 3 goals. I'll take that. A 3-0 lead? I don't even know. If we had a 3-0 lead, I don't even know. That would be crazy. Sherry, let's go Devils. We got this. Vic, just found out Tox is out as Vancouver coach. Yeah, I think that came out earlier today. Dire Wolf, I understand the dooming, but I hate it. We have an awesome locked-up core and more talent coming. A rising cap. Most teams will kill for our situation. The cup is the hardest trophy to win in sports. Yes, Dire Wolf, but we essentially were in the same spot 2 years ago. It feels like we've regressed overall since that 22-23 season. So you have to understand a lot of people, there's been no growth or no steps forward since that record-setting season when we beat the Rangers in that beautiful 7-game series. So, you know, people want to see progress and getting closer and closer, and we're not. Hope we win tonight. Let's go Devils. See you later. All right, that's it, guys. That is it. This is it. This is it, my friends. The season is on the line, and the New Jersey Devils must pull out Game 5 to extend the series, extend their season, and bring this damn thing back home to Newark at the Rock for Game 6 on Friday. Kochekov and net, Freddie Anderson KO'd by Timo in the last game, and I just hope we fire pucks from every single angle, go to the net hard, look for tips, look for anything, rebounds, a lucky bounce. At this point, I don't care. It's do or die, must win. It all goes down very shortly, and I'm hoping to be back here after the game with a victorious, victory beverage-laced post-game live and not a funeral service for the last post-game live of the season. I'll be back. I'll be back after the game, and I'm hoping it's a joyous occasion, my friends. That's it. Hit the thumbs up on the way out. Watch your team. I will be screaming at my television, and I hope we're celebrating tonight. I don't want the season to end just yet. My arm's actually hurting from this. Like, comment, subscribe, and all that jazz. Until next time, friends, let's go Devils.